Hi friends, good evening all of you. Welcome back to CAP classes. So we have seen the maximum loss method in piecemeal distribution, and then we have seen the second method, which is highest relative capital method. So I have explained this in detail in the previous class. So in this class, let us solve problem number 8. Okay. Ajay Enterprises, a partnership firm in which A, B and C are three partners sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 4:3:3. The balance sheet of the firm as on 31st December 2011 is as follows. Liabilities: A's capital 15,000, B's capital 7,500, C's capital 15,000, B's loan 4,500, sundry creditors 16,500. So first what we do, what is their profits and losses sharing ratio? 4:3:3, correct? But what is their capital? Is it in 4:3:3 ratio? No, it is in a different ratio. So first we calculate excess capital, higher relative capital. Okay, so I'm opening one new document. Opening one new worksheet, problem number 8. So let us solve this. So I'm taking particulars A, B, C. Okay, so capital. What is their capital as given in balance sheet? 15,000, 7,500, 15,000. Correct? So what is their profit sharing ratio? Is it 4:3:3 they said? Yes, 4:3:3. This is, now we calculate unit capital. That means capital per 1 unit. So it is this divided by this. So per 1 unit, A 3,750, B 2,500, C is 5,000. So what is the rule? Go to the lowest unit capital. Consider this lowest unit capital as the basis and define hypothetical capitals. So for one share, if you are bringing 2,500, for my 4 shares, I'll have to bring only 10,000. So it is this multiply with this. So A has to bring 10,000 comparing to B's capital. B will bring same, this into his number of units. C will bring his number of units into the lowest unit capital. So A's unit capital is 10,000, B's unit capital is 7,500, C's unit capital is 7,500. So can I say excess capital? Here actual capital is 15,000, but my hypothetical capital is 5,000 only. For second guy, there is no excess capital because he is the basis. So rule, whenever the person is the basis for calculation of others' capitals, he will not have any excess. Okay, then what about C? Oh my god, he has 7,500 excess. Okay, then take again profit sharing only between A and C. Why? B is ruled out now. So A for 4, B is for 3 units, 4:3. Between A and B it is 4:3. Again calculate unit capital round 2. Unit capital round 2 is 5,000 divided by 4, it is 1,250. For the other guy, 7,500 divided by 3, it is 2,500. So which is the lowest? 1,250. So take 1,250 as the basis. Take 1,250 as the basis. So what is hypothetical capital? It is this into okay, this is this into his number of units 4, so 5,000. Okay, what is the hypothetical capital of the other guy? It is 3 units into what is unit capital? The lowest is the basis, 3,750. So what is excess capital? Here for my 5,000, it is 5,000. But here 7,500 minus 3,750. This is second round excess capital. This is round 1. This is round 2. So what is the conclusion? Try to understand what we are doing. Try to understand what we are doing. First, C should be paid off rupees 3,750. Till then, A and B won't get any money. Makes sense? Because I have contributed maximum. So I should get 3,750 first. This is justice. Then, next, A and C are to be paid off rupees. A has paid 5,000 excess. B has paid total 7,500. In that already 3,750 is paid. Now another 3,750 is to be paid. Rupees 5,000 and 3,750 respectively in 4:3 ratio. Till then, B won't get any money. So the objective here is, after this, A and C will come to equivalent capitals. But still they are higher than the other guy, no? So when you do this, after this round 2, A, B and C all are in equivalent capital. Therefore, next, money will be paid to A, B and C in profit sharing ratio. So try to understand this table and these conclusions. If you understand this, my dear friends, problem is over. Okay, be patient, take 10 seconds of time, just try to understand what we are doing. Okay, now shall we solve the problem? Okay, now go to the question. A's capital is 15,000, B's capital is 7,500, C's capital is 15,000, B's loan is 4,500, sundry creditors 16,500. Okay, now how this is to be done? Statement showing payment of liabilities and distribution of cash to partners. Particulars. First one is sundry creditors, outsiders first. Next one is partner capital, B's loan. Next one is partner's loan, I'm sorry, not partner's capital, partner's loan. Next is partner's capitals. So here A, B, C. Okay, you remember this is what we have done in the previous question also. Okay, this is what we are supposed to do now. Chalo, let us go back to the question and read the question. Factory building 24,160, very good. Plant and machinery 16,275, very good. Debtors 5,400, stock 12,390, cash at bank 275, total 58,500. On balance sheet date, all the three partners have decided to dissolve their partnership. Since the realization of assets was protracted, they decided to distribute amounts as and when feasible, and for this purpose, they appoint C, who was to get as his remuneration 1% of the value of the assets realized other than cash at bank and 10% of the amount distributed to partners. Super. So he has two types of remunerations. Who is going to look after the whole process? Mr. C will look after the process. Mr. C will look after the process. So what is the remuneration of Mr. C? First he will get 1% of assets realized. Okay, then he will get 10% of amount to be distributed to partners. Okay, now if you get 100 rupees, can I calculate 10% of 100 rupees and can I distribute remaining 90? No, it is not on the realization basis, it is on the distribution. That means 100 rupees must be equal to 110%. So what you need to do into 10 by 110. Don't worry, I will explain. If you understand the concept, very good. If you do not understand, I will explain. So of the amount distributed to partners, assets were realized as piecemeal as under. First installment 18,650, very good. Second installment 17,320, very good. Third installment 10,000. Last installment 7,000. Dissolution expenses were 3,000. Creditors were finally settled for 15,900. So what is creditors here? 16,500. Correct? So what is the amount paid? 15,900. What is the discount creditors are given? 600 rupees. So what to do with the 600? You will take to P&L, but we don't need to really think much about it. Okay, we paid 15,900. That's all. Prepare a statement showing distribution of cash among the partners by higher relative capital method. Now listen. In the exam, they asked you follow maximum loss method or follow higher relative capital method. Then you follow that method. If they have not mentioned anything, prepare statement showing distribution of cash among the partners. That is the question. You can follow whatever the method you want. You can follow method A or you can follow method B. Both the methods, your answer will be same. You will be given full marks. But my suggestion is follow higher relative capital method because this is easier. You will not do more mistakes. Point number 1. Point number 2, whatever the method you follow, don't forget writing the notes. In the footnote, you need to write, in piecemeal distribution, 2 methods can be followed. Either method 1 or method 2. I have followed method 2 in my answer. You understand? So, what is the first installment? 18,650. So, read the question once again. Shall we go to the solution? Shall we start with the solution? So, read the question once again. Okay, so first bring the opening balances. Bring the opening balances. So, balance due. To creditors how much? 16,500. B's loan 4,500. Partners capitals 15,000. 7,500. 15,000. So A 15,000, B 7,500, C 15,000. Okay, so the total liability side came this side, including capitals. Very good. So step 1, installment 1. Installment 1. So we create one realization column also here. Realization amount. Okay, realization amount is how much? 18,650. Take calculator. 18,650 plus 275 cash you have. So 18,925 is available. 18,750. Here we'll write 18,650 plus 275 cash. So total we have how much? 18,925. 18,925. Correct? 18,925 is the cash what is available in your hand. First, what are you supposed to do? Shall I give it to creditors? No. First, liquidation expenses. So they have given dissolution expenses 3,000. So less. Dissolution expenses 3,000. Balance available. So can I say this minus this? 15,925 rupees is available with you. Correct? So shall I distribute it to creditor? No. Liquidator expenses. Liquidator's remuneration. So less remuneration. To C. How to calculate remuneration? 18,650 into 1%. So 1% on the assets realized. 18,650 into 1% is coming to 186.5. So let us say 187. 187. So what is the balance available? This minus this. 15,738 rupees you have. To whom you will give? Paid to. Give it to creditors. 15,738. So paid to creditors. So here 15,738. 15,738 paid. So you can put it in brackets. Then your balance available becomes 0. So this also you can put minus number. This also you can put minus number. In that case we'll have to change the formula. Okay. So balance available 0. So balance due. Here you don't have anything in hand. Here out of 16,500 you already paid this much. 762 rupees is the due. For all the people as it is same. My dear friends, remember you need to pay 16,500 to creditors, but you paid only 15,900. They have given a discount. You could have subtracted that here itself. I don't mind if you write balance due 16,500 minus discount given 600. Take the discount to P&L account. Balance to be paid to them 15,900. I don't mind. But ICI has given this kind of answer, so we are following ICI answer. So what we do is, what is the amount due? 0, 762, 4,500, 15,000, 7,500, 15,000. Now what do? We go to next installment. So what is the next installment? Next installment is 17,320. Installment 2. How much it is? 17,320 available. 17,320 available. Less liquidator remuneration. How to calculate remuneration to see? 17,320 into 1%. Okay, it should be 173 rupees. 173. So balance available. So you have 17,147 rupees with you. Correct? So to whom you will pay this? Paid to. First you will pay this to these guys, but you will pay only 162 rupees. Pawan sir, we have to pay 762. Pawan sir, we have to pay 762. But my dear friend, 1 second. But my dear friend, they are giving 600 rupees discount, no? So you paid 162 rupees to them. Discount 600 rupees. Balance due. This is out of 762. I paid 162. They gave 600 rupee discount. So balance due is 0. Now balance available here is out of 17,147. You paid 162. The balance is available here. ₹16,985 rupees is available still in your hand. 16,985 is available. Now look here. This creditors are over. You understand creditors simply are. Creditors has given 600 rupees discount. What is the accounting treatment of this discount? Nothing. Nothing. That is realization profit or loss. Okay. So you don't need to think about it. That will be taken to P&L or that will be taken to realization account. If you are preparing realization, what you do, creditors 16,500 will be transferred to the debit side. By cash in realization account, you will write 15,900. Automatically 600 will be your profit. So don't worry about it. So now creditors is over. I need to pay to this guy. B's loan is to be paid now. Balance due. Okay. So paid to whom we are paying? Minus 4,500. We are paying to this guy. Minus 4,500. So now balance available. What is the balance available? Out of 16,985, I paid 4,200, and to this guy, out of 4,500, I paid everything. So this is 0. So now what happened? First, creditors has become 0. Then partner's loan has become 0. Now we need to pay it to these guys. 15,000, 7,500, 15,000. Okay. So amounts due. Balance due, can I write 0, 0, then here 15,000, 7,500, 15,000. So after repayment of monies to outsiders, only partners' capital accounts are there. What is the amount available? 12,485. But my dear friends, do you remember the calculations you have done? First C should be paid 3,750. Pawan sir will pay 3,750 rupees to this C Pawan sir. No, my dear friend, hold on. Are you forgetting anything? Out of this 12,485, are you forgetting anything? Yes. Whatever the money you are going to distribute to partners, C should be paid 10%. So less C's remuneration. How to calculate C's remuneration? 12,485 into 10 divided by 110. So 12,485 into 10 divided by 110. How much it is? 1,135 rupees. So 1,135 rupees. This is your remuneration. So when you pay this remuneration, balance available. Okay, this is balance available. Now this can be paid to A, B, C. In whatever manner you want, you can pay this. So do you understand how that C's remuneration is calculated? Listen, 10% of this, 10% of amounts distributed to partners. So 11,350 on the 10% is 1,135 only, no? So my calculation is correct. So 12,485 is equal to 110%. What is that 110%? 100 rupees to be distributed to partners, 10 rupees to be remuneration given to C. So out of this 11,350, to whom you will pay? As per your working note, you will pay 3,750 first to this guy. Minus 3,750. So here you write minus 3,750. Minus 3,750. Okay. So excess capital of C is paid first. Then balance due. So here what is the balance you have? 7,600 rupees you have, and his capital 15,000 you have, his capital 7,500 you have, but here out of 15,000 you repaid 3,750 to him, so his capital is only 11,250. Now again amounts paid to partners. Again amounts paid to partners. Now whose excess capital? Excess capital of A and C paid now. So if you observe, round 2 paid first. Round 2 is higher excess capital. A has excess capital, C has excess capital, but out of these two, who has higher excess capital? C. So that is paid first. Now this should be paid. This should be paid. So how much you need to pay? 3,750 to C, 5,000 rupees to A. Okay, but 3,750 plus 5,000, I need 8,750 to repay excess capital of A and C. 8,750. Do I have that much? No. How much I have? How much I have? Only 8,750. For your convenience, I am writing it like this. C's higher excess capital 3,750. This is paid off. Then A and C excess capital. A 5,000, C 3,500, 3,750. So total how much I want? add this to, so total I want 8,750. Do I have 8,750? No. How much I have? Only 7,600. Chalo bhai, no problem, pay that only, never mind. Okay, so this 7,600, whatever is available, distribute between A and C in their 4:3 ratio. In their 4:3 ratio. So 7,600 divided by 7, 1085 into 4. That is coming to 4343. So here minus 7,600. How that is paying? How that is being paid? 4343. For 3 portions it is 3257 minus 3257. Okay, then balance due. Okay, here you don't have any rupees now, 0. Here it is this amount and this is repaid. Okay, these are the balances. Out of this, how much I paid? 7,600. To be paid, this minus this. Are you understanding the track? To be paid 1,150 rupees is yet to be paid. That will pay in the second bunch. That will pay in the second bunch. You understand it? Now next installment. So now let us go to next installment. Installment 1 is over, installment 2 is over. Now third installment. Third installment. Received 10,000. Okay, on that less C's remuneration. Okay, how will you calculate C's remuneration? Here he has two types of remuneration. C has two types of remuneration. 10,000 into 1%. This is asset realization. 100 rupees you need to pay. So 9,900 is the balance. Out of this, 9,900 into 10 by 110. What is this? 900. This is second remuneration for distribution of money to partners. So as per the problem, C will have two types of remuneration. One remuneration is whenever you realize any asset, on that 1% you will get. Second one is whenever you are distributing money as capital to partners, on that you get 10%. So you have given 900 rupees to him. So what is the amount you have? 9,000. Balance available is 9,000. So you understand these calculations. So third installment is 10,000. In that 1% on asset realization paid to C, that has become 100 rupees. So 9,900 is available. Now this 9,900 can be distributed to partners after C's remuneration. So C's remuneration is 10 by 110. That is 900 rupees. 9,900 minus 900 is 9,000. So balance available is 9,000. So should I distribute this 9,000 to ABC? No. First to be paid of 1,150. Paid to. First this minus 1,150. So this is paid to whom? In 4:3 ratio to A and C. So 1,150 into 1,150 divided by 7 into 4. So you'll pay 657 to this guy. To this guy you'll pay 0. So to the third guy you'll pay 493. Okay, now try to understand. You paid 4343 here. You paid 657 here. Put together his excess capital 5,000 rupees gone. So you have paid 3257 here. You have paid 493 here. Put together 3,750 gone. So you are following as it is your objectives. You have written your objectives after working note 1. My objective is first I should pay 3,750 to C. Okay. After that I should pay 5,000 and 3,750 to A and C in the ratios of 4:3. That is also over. Now whatever the balance is there, you will distribute to all the people. Now try to understand here what is the balance partner capital? Partners capital's balance. So here This is out of 10,657, you paid 657 to him. So here 7,500, here 7,500. Now my dear friends, try to understand. You brought capitals into the profit sharing ratio. What is the profit sharing ratio? 4:3:3 given in the problem. Now see, exactly 4:3:3 came. Now onwards, whatever the money is available, 4:3:3. Okay, so balance available. So how much of balance is available? You have 9,000 rupees. On that you paid excess capital. This is excess capital paid to. Okay, now you can pay this 7,850 paid to partners. In 4:3:3. This balance available is 7,850 minus 7,850. So how much you will pay? 7,850 divided by 4 plus 3 plus 3 is 10 divided by 10 into 4. So you are paying 3,140 to first guy. Okay, 3,140 to first guy minus 3,140. Then 3 portions you will pay to second guy, 2,355 minus 2,355. Again minus 2,355 to third guy. Okay, paid to partners in this ratio. Now balance. Here you have 0. Here you have 6860, 5145, 5145. So with this, installment 3 is also over. Now go back to the question. Installment 4, last installment 7,000. 7,000. Can I distribute 7,000 in 2:3:3? No, my dear friend, hold on. Less, cease remuneration. How? 7,000 into 1%. So that comes to 70 rupees. Okay, balance. Now 6,930 into 10 by 110. So 630. Balance available is 6,300. Now this 6,300 paid to minus 6,300. So here 6,300 divided by 10 into 4. So 2,520 you are paying to this guy. 2,520. Okay, then 3 portions you are paying 1,890 minus 1,890. Then minus 1,890. Okay, then loss due to dissolution. So you have to pay 6,860 to him, but you paid only 2,520. So 4,340 is the loss. So second guy got 3,255 loss. Third guy got 3,255 loss. My dear friends, if you observe, this is in 4:3:3 ratio. So simple. I'll tell you the basic essence of what we have done. Okay, the basic essence of what we have done. Partners have different amounts of capital and different profit sharing ratio, which is injustice to some partners, undue advantage to some partners. What is that? Partners are having different capital amounts and different profit sharing ratios. So some of them are in advantageous position, some of them are in disadvantageous position. That means I have put more money for less share. So I am crying more now. So highest relative capital method is saying, Pawan, don't worry, you are the guy who contributed the most to the firm. You will be paid first. Your sacrifices, your contributions are not forgotten. We respect you. We give money to you first. When I take that money, I am happy. So you try to bring down the excess capital of the partners who contributed more money. Then you try to bring them equivalent to the others. Then you distribute money in their profit sharing ratio. That's it. You understand? I hope this is very simple now. Is this clear? So shall we go to next question?